Today, we will read a story about time to say goodbye. But before that, let's get familiar with some words first. Bird. We can see a bird in this picture. There are lots of different kinds of birds. This is a common kind of bird called a blue jay. All birds have wings, feathers, and a beak. Measure. When you measure something, you find out how big it is or how much it weighs. What is the girl in the picture doing to the board? Yes, measuring it. Claws. Look at the picture of a bird's foot. Claws are the sharp nails that birds and some animals have on their feet. They use their claws to hold on to things and to protect themselves. Dawn. Dawn is the time of day when the sun comes up, the early morning. Release. We see a girl letting some balloons go. She's releasing the balloons. Release means to let go. Demonstrate. When you demonstrate something, you show how to do it. What is the man in this picture demonstrating? Yes, how to paint. Capture. To capture means to catch. What is the boy in this picture trying to capture? A bug or insect. Tangled. We can see a kitten playing with a ball of yarn. It's got the yarn all tangled. When something gets tangled, it gets all twisted into knots. Narrow. Look at the two rectangles in this picture. One of them is wide, the other is narrow. The red one is narrow. Tube. What do you see in this picture? Yes, a cardboard tube. It looks like the kind of tube you find in a roll of paper towels. A tube is a long, narrow container that is open at one or both ends. Next, let's move to today's story. Time to say goodbye. It's hard to believe this is the last week of school, isn't it? Asked Mr. Chen, pointing to the calendar. You did a great job with your end-of-the-year project about owls. So today, as a special treat, Maggie's aunt, Dr. Nora Ruiz, will be visiting us. She's going to bring a very special guest. Can you guess who it might be? Is it Maggie's cousin, Sophia? Asked Jordan. He'd met Sophia at Maggie's house several times. Good guess, Jordan, but it's not Sophia. Let me give you a clue. Dr. Ruiz is a scientist who works with birds. Jordan was about to guess again when Dr. Ruiz arrived. Dr. Ruiz said hello to the children. Then she took out a small cloth bag and asked everyone to gather around. Dr. Ruiz opened the bag. Inside was a tiny owl. Dr. Ruiz held the owl while it cooed and turned its head from side to side as it looked around the classroom. "It's so cute," said Jasmine. "But why is it in a bag?" "Does anyone want to guess?" asked Dr. Ruiz. Angela raised her hand. "Was it because owls like the dark?" "That's right," said Dr. Ruiz. "Owls fly around at night when it's dark, so that makes sense," said Ravi. "Is this your pet owl, Dr. Ruiz?" "No, it is not a good idea to keep owls as pets. They are wild animals and are happiest when they are free. This is a female owl that hurt her wing. We captured her so we could fix it. She is all better now, so we'll set her free," explained Dr. Ruiz. "How do you capture an owl without hurting it?" asked Maggie. "That's a good question, Maggie. We capture owls with very soft nets. Sometimes the owls get a little tangled up in the nets, but we take them out very gently. It doesn't hurt them," Dr. Ruiz assured her. "Then what do you do with them?" asked Caroline. "Well, Caroline, we try to learn more about owls and how they live," said Dr. Ruiz. "We measure them and weigh them. Why don't you come up and help me demonstrate?" Caroline held the tape measure while Dr. Ruiz gently spread the owl's wings. "Her wings are about 10 inches across, but when she's grown up, they will be twice as big," she said. "Now we're going to weigh her. What you do," continued Dr. Ruiz as she worked, "is gently slide the owl into a narrow, empty tube to protect her while you handle her. Then you weigh her inside the tube. This owl weighs 1.5 ounces. "Her claws are really sharp," said Jordan, "kind of like the claws on my cat, Apricot." "You're right, Jordan. Owls do have sharp claws. They help her catch her food and hang on to branches," said Dr. Ruiz. Once everyone had a chance to pet the owl's soft feathers, Mr. Chen led the class outside. "In a couple of days, we're all going to say goodbye to each other for the summer," he said. But first, we're going to say goodbye to our new owl friend and thank Dr. Ruiz for bringing her to visit. "Thank you, Dr. Ruiz. Come back soon," said a bunch of voices all at once. Dr. Ruiz promised she'd visit again. Then she explained that scientists usually let owls go at dawn, just as the sun is coming up or in the evening. Since it was the middle of the day, this owl would probably wait in the woods behind the school until nighttime and then fly further away. Dr. Ruiz took the tiny owl, held it up in the air, and released it. As soon as she let it go, the owl spread its wings and flew into the woods. The children waved until the small bird was out of sight. "Well, class," said Mr. Chen, "it has been a fun year. We have learned a lot of new things. I know you will all do very well next year in first grade." Caroline, Maggie, and Jordan looked at each other. "First grade? We can't wait!" The end.